So what has happened to Dele Alli? Well, it looks like he's really struggling for form. But even last season, he really wasn't playing that well. He was in the side, but he didn't really do too much. And I think progressively, year in, year out, he's kind of gotten worse. Like, even though he was starting week in, week out for the team, he wasn't really producing as much as he should have. And that's come to be the case this season because he's not really in the side. He recently played in the Europa League and he was one of the players that got criticized. And yeah, it seems as if he's kind of like gone downhill, but I'm not really sure why because he's a player that sort of plays in, attacking midfield and, he creates chances, he scores goals, he gets into the box. And yeah, I think if you watch him play, I don't think he really gets into the box as much as he used to. And I'm not really sure why that is exactly. In his first season at Spurs, he kind of overperformed because he was supposed to be a player that came in and like did a job, then came off the bench and sort of be an impact player. But he scored 10 goals and 9 assists, and that's extremely good for a player that really didn't really have any expectations for. And then in his second season, he did even better than that, getting 18 goals and 9 assists in the league. So that is outstanding. To get those kinds of numbers is just ridiculous, especially for a midfield player. For a striker, even, that's extremely good, but for a midfielder, that is exceptional. But the next season after that, got 9 goals, 11 assists as well. It's kind of hard to replicate the kind of form you had when you're scoring like 18 goals. Like, that's absolutely unreal. So, to back that up with 9 goals, 11 assists is quite good. And even the season after that, he got 8 goals and 3 assists. So not too bad. Quite good. But sometimes it's not just all about the stats. It's about how the player plays. Um, and yeah, it almost seems as if he wasn't playing as well as his best season. So he sort of had his best season in the 2016-17 season, and he's gotten progressively worse year in year out. Um, and yeah, I guess a lot of that is to do with probably just positioning and just form in general. Just not being clean with possession, giving up the ball, not having confidence. Um, because even last season, the very last season, 8 goals and 4 assists, like that's not a bad return for a player. That's actually quite good. But for Dele Alli, like he's expecting a lot more from that. And it looks like his confidence is on the floor at the moment. He's not really, obviously he's not in the side, but I think he's had quite a few chances to prove himself and he hasn't. And I don't know, it's kind of looking like he might be finished at the top level, which is crazy because he's not even that old yet. He's still a player with you think he has a lot of potential. And actually, I don't think he's in the England squad at the moment actually, so that's another issue as well. But you think that he'd be a player that with a lot of potential, he starts to improve his game, but it looks like what I think has happened is that somewhere along the line, I think he kind of took his foot off the pedal. So what I mean by that is that he stopped working as hard as he did to get to where he was. Now he's almost dropped a couple of levels, and now he has to work really hard just to get back to where he was before he kind of dropped a level, if that makes sense. So he's looking like I don't know, maybe a championship, maybe League One player right now because he's not at the level you need to be able to perform consistently at the top level. And that's something that maybe he's trying to work on right now. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's possible to try and get back to those heights, but maybe it is. We'll have to wait and see because, it is a long season this year. So I'm sure that, Dele Alli will get a lot more opportunities, but, the more time that passes, the less, time he's going to have to really prove himself and to see if he can get back to his very best. So we'll see what happens.